Now we are going to move into one of our favorite topics. It's probably our favorite product.
It is our favorite product. People will ask us, what's your favorite product? Showing the plan.
Showing the business.
Showing the
Expanding
business.
distribution.
Seriously, because it truly is. And the products, they do change people's lives. But I always say, if you guys believed as much as you do on the business side of things, it believed as much as you do in the business plan as you do in the products, you'd all be directors. This product...
They all will be directors.
They all will be directors.
That's why they're on the fast track.
That's right.
They're committed.
I agree.
That's it.
But you guys, this is really about changing lives along the way. And that's where we have so much fun. So we're just going to talk about showing the plan. There's so many different ways that you can do it. You know, you can use the flip chart. You can use the HVP or the UBP slides and download it on your computer. You can do it on a napkin, but you do want to do it. And that's the best suggestion that we have is we're going to go through a lot of different tips that we say, that, things that we might use. But you guys can take what you like and leave out what you don't like. And the biggest tip we can give you is it doesn't matter how you do it. Just show the plan. Does that make sense to everybody?
Often.
Just show it and show it often. There is no right or wrong way to show it because you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person, period.
Well, let's talk about that really quick, because before we get into the first step of setting, or after we set the appointment, now we're going to go show the plan. Before we get into that, from a psychology perspective, I just want to give everybody on the line here, just some food for thought. So it's interesting how some people will say, I'm either, great at showing the plan and expanding distribution, or they're the opposite and they say, well, I'm great at selling products, but I'm not so great at showing the plan. It's kind of one or the other usually.
It's so true.
And what's so interesting is why is it any different other than being a mental hang up for you? Because in the end, they're both products. One product is a physical, tangible, like, hey, I'm going to sell you this product and then you're going to take it and I'm going to help you and you're going to love me because the product works amazing and you're going to reorder and you're going to refer your friends and we're going to be one big happy family. From a retail perspective and retailing to recruit, whether we retail to recruit and that's more of a process, or we're actually out showing the plan, both are products. And the product of financial freedom is just as important as selling somebody the daily essential packet or the trim tea right now, right?
Yep.
If we choose to believe it's just as important.
Yep.
But for some people, I recognize that maybe for some people, Trim, maybe it's not as much of a priority because, for them, it's kind of like, some people will say, money's no big deal. And, and so therefore money, I don't care if I make any money with this company, I would do the products anyways. Mm-hmm. And I want enough money to be comfortable. It's just like, I just need enough money to be comfortable. I hear that a lot from people, by the way. And it's just like, and odds are right at this point in your Market America career, you're probably earning enough money with the company and your job, let's say, combined for you to be comfortable. And so therefore, that's all you're going to be given at this point because that's all you want.
That's good.
But then if you challenge that a little bit and say, no, I'm ready to, I need an abundance of money because it's who I'm going to bless with the money that I'm earning.
So good.
That's why, not only is it our duty, to become financially free. Those of you who finished reading Secrets of the Millionaire Mind book, right? It's, if we have the wherewithal to become financially free, it's our duty to go do it so we can go help other people and bless other people with the money that we're earning. So whether it's the money store or whether it's the physical, tangible, daily essential packet or trim tea or motives product you're selling, they're all products. And either you believe in them or you don't based on your productivity. And so then you got to challenge your belief system a little bit based on the only reason why I wouldn't be showing the plan enough is if I didn't think somebody could really make the money that they're going to make.
That's so good. And we've actually had people ask us, I personally have, and somebody like out of HVP would come up and say, well, if the plan is so good and it's a 2 to 3 year plan, why are you still doing it? Because obviously we share a story, it's not going to it's been 20 years. And the reason for that, you guys, is because who are we not to help affect somebody else's lives? When you've been given and been blessed with this amazing company and the memories that we have, and the things that we've gotten to do and really customize our life, how can you not talk to people? How can you be, again, we talked about comfort zone a couple of weeks ago. How can you stay in your little comfort zone, stay in your little bitty box? You know, if you don't step out of that and bless somebody else and at least say something, you're saying that your fear or your comfort zone is way more important than your reason why. And so I can't walk away. I can't walk out of the grocery store or the bank or if anything without saying something to somebody, because who am I to say, oh, I got to stay home and be the room mom. You got to be the basketball coach. We got to take the kids to Disney, all 5 of them when they were 4. We paid cash for our daughter's college. We got to do those things, but we're too scared to say something to you. How can you do that, right? This is such a gift, and you really need to share it. So when you come from a place of helping people and really serving what they do with the information, guys, it's really up to them. You're just providing the vehicle and the information to them so they can make an informed decision. It's up to them, it's up to God, and it's really about just sharing it and blessing other people.
Yeah, love people.
Love
right?
people.
I mean, isn't that, I mean, guys, that is the message, is love people. And when you love people, and in the beginning, I get it, you know, from a product standpoint, it's kind of like you might take some like trim tea, or you take the daily essentials or whatever you're taking, and you can notice results pretty quickly. But it might take you, if you're a new person and you have no business experience, and Trin and I, and like we're a diamond in the rough, but like pretty rough, and we need a lot of polish. We're not gonna like cut a commission check like the first week or two, or it was like, oh, I feel it already, you know. But we did see retail profit.
Yeah.
So as you take these steps and you build, put on what we call like the armor, right? Become bulletproof. So it doesn't matter what somebody says to us, it just bounces off of us.
Listening to audio,
listening to the
reading your goals twice a
statement.
day, you know, and reading 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, building your armor.
So as we build that armor up, we're positioning ourselves to have those successes along the way. Mm-hmm. And every time we have another little success, even though you might think, well, that was just a little success, it's no big deal. Don't let your mind steal that success away from you, because pretty soon it's just like, oh, hey, I sold the trim tea this week. It's almost like, oh, that's a great job. But you walk away from the conversation, well, that was really no big deal for me though. And then you do it again, and then you sell you know, the daily essential. You get the 3 sample packs of the daily essential package, just like in our what was that, the week 3 meet on with Dr. Cheryl Duchess, awesome. and talking about the samples and all of that stuff. But you're handing out the samples, somebody calls you back, wants to buy the product, and you're like, all right, high five, way to go. It's like a huge celebration, woohoo! But then, well, it's no big deal. Pretty soon, your life becomes no big deal, right? And because that's what you're saying to yourself, oh, that was no big deal. Every little step you take in this business and in your life, you should like high five, all right, get super, super jazzed and pumped about it, and say to yourself, that was a big deal, and get fired up about it, right?
And you do, because again, this is all about them buying into you. When you show the business plan, you guys, and you sit down with somebody, it is definitely not about being perfect. And I remember
we've proven that over the years.
When I just started showing the plan, and I was so intimidated. And you know, this person's like 30, they're an adult, they're like a teacher. They make like 25 grand a year, like they're making money. How am I supposed, I was a telemarketer, how am I supposed to teach them how to make money, right? But it's just that they're buying into you and where you're headed. That's it. People do not understand the reentries. People don't understand the supervisory entry level. They don't understand all the different things, or the 3 centers is what I'm referring to. They don't understand all of that. They're buying into you and where you're going and what you're creating, okay? And so when you sit down with somebody, it's really about getting to know them, find out how you can make it a win-win situation, and you want to just assume that they want to be a part of it. They want what you have. So they either need some of the products that you can help them with some kind of health challenge. Maybe you can make it a win-win referral. Maybe they might know someone that's a fit for what you're doing, or you might know someone that could help them with their business, right? Or a website or something like that, as well as they might be a fit for your business. So you're just really assuming that, why wouldn't they want to be a part of your business, right? Kind of like if somebody says no, or somebody's like, okay, they must have 3 heads. Why wouldn't they want residual income? You know, we kind of walk away with that. But it doesn't matter, but we're just gonna assume that everybody needs outlaw verbal projections, right? Everybody needs to see Market America's business plan. This is life-changing. Who doesn't want to see it? Everybody needs to be on OPC, right? So we're really, in our mind, as well as our verbiage, we're going to set the context.
Yeah, set the context, and now we jump forward to the, we'll set the intention. Everybody's going to be interested. So setting the context and going into the meeting, it's like when you go into it, like Trinity's teaching you guys, right? It's a mindset of already knowing we're going to be able to serve them. We're going to be able to help them.
Yep.
We're going to love on people. And that's really, it's like an overflowing amount of abundance going into an appointment. And not only that, you have an audio in as you're going to that appointment, and I'm listening to JR talk about the binomial. Just the other day, I was already listening to it, right? The binomial and how he's breaking it down and how he created the unfranchised. And I'm just like jazz. I go into that appointment, I'm just like, yeah, I'm like bulletproof, man. I'm like on fire. And you walk in on that meeting, and as we sit down with someone, we already kind of have to have it in our mind, who are we meeting with? Mm-hmm. How did we meet them? What was our approach? What have we learned about them prior to the meeting? What do we know? Mm-hmm. What division do we think they may have an interest in right out of the gate? Now, I'm going to formulate some of this in my mind, you guys, and you can put it to paper. You can have some things written down as far as, setting the context around the appointment. Right. But you're going into setting the environment. Context is about the environment. The content is what we're going to share when we meet with them. Like, here's the information. But it's more about the context of us providing an environment of hope. And an environment of opportunity and excitement. And here's where we're going. And we're setting the vision for what we're about and where we're going. As we get to know them, we might take like the first 5 minutes and get to know somebody. Ask them a few questions.
Yeah. Are they married? Do they have kids? What do you do for a living? What do you like about that? Man, you must really love it. Well, no, not really. I mean, you'd be surprised at some of the things people tell you, or maybe they do love it. Well, what do you not like about that, and just kind of get to know them for at least 5 minutes. And
you have to know, here's the thing you got to be careful with there, though. So we're all on the same page, right? Because again, context is most important. Mm-hmm. If Trinity came in and just started, like, let's say I'm a business owner in town, and Trinity came in and I run a restaurant in town. Mm-hmm. And she comes in and, hey, I'm meeting with you because so-and-so referred me to you, and thank you for your time. First thing you need to do is acknowledge them for your time. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. And then let that land for a second. Take a breath, you guys. And then ultimately, though, but if she came in and started asking me, like, hey, married, kids, dog, what's your blood type? That might be 2. So we're training here.
Yeah.
So we have a training hat, right? And then we also have like the student hat, and like, okay, let's put it into the context. So therefore, you don't just go meet with somebody tomorrow and just think, I got to go right at them and I have to ask them 500 questions, because you don't want to put them on the defensive. But we need to let that kind of navigate a little bit with our story as we ask them a question or two about them.
Yep.
But don't make it feel like it's an interrogation.
Exactly. A conversation, a volley between people, right? So you're asking them questions, and then you are going to fit in your story. How you got introduced to it. Your 2-minute commercial, where you were or where you are and where you're headed. And then, once that we've kind of talked to her about, 5 minutes or so, what I'm going to say is, okay, Cullen, so we're going to talk a little shop, or I might joke with somebody, or, we're okay. So, well, thanks again for meeting me. I'll tell you what, I am going to go through lots of information with you pretty quickly here, and you're going to know that by the time that I'm done. So don't worry about understanding everything today. Just get the concept of it, and then obviously I can send you some more information, and you can write down some questions, and I'll give you a call. We'll answer the questions for you, okay? So, and then I'm going to go, and I'm going to open up my laptop or my flip chart, and then I'm going to start talking and going through the slides.
And it really...
Setting the content.
Setting the context, right, into the content.
Yes.
The content we share, you guys, is really going to depend on the person we're approaching. Yes. And what I want to share with them at that meeting. Do they have any business experience? Have they ever run a business? Like the other day when I met with the restaurant owner, who the surgeon referred.
Yes.
So the surgeon refers to the
restaurant
restaurant owner, and I'm sitting with him at his restaurant on a Friday night. The place is absolutely jammed, and he's sitting with me and talking with me. And I'm like, how can I get like 5 to maybe 15-minute max of this guy's attention for him to totally be with me and tracking with me without being worried about everything going on in the restaurant / wine bar? Was really the context that I was put into.
You bet.
So it wasn't like I had a ton of time to whip out the whole flip chart or the whole my laptop computer, but as he would ask a question, then I would explain that. No problem. But see, I was like less is more in that situation.
Well, and you brought up an excellent point. You want to customize it, and the reason you ask questions obviously is to get to know them, of course, but it also will help you customize the plan and know how to navigate, know how to get their questions answered. And it's not going to be a perfect situation. So if you're showing a surgeon or a restaurant owner who owns multiple businesses, he might not care about how I started. He might not care, at all about anything like that. And you need to call an audible for that. Okay, so you might have to go in there. If somebody's been in a number of multi-level marketing companies and they come up from a direct sales background, then they might just cut to the chase and show me those numbers. But if I'm also talking to like a 24-year-old maybe server or a telemarketer like I was, and I had never really seen that much, I might have to just talk in themes. I might not even show the pay plan at that point. I might have to talk more in themes, meaning I might have to talk about what residual income is, what leverage is. I might have to just, chat about, the just concept and overall, and spend some more time on what a product brokerage company is. Do you shop online? Maybe go a little bit more into the shopping annuity. Do you see what I'm saying? So call an audible is the best way to go, and you can customize it to whomever. So learning how to talk in themes, which is one of our audios this week, last week
yep.
with Jim and with Dennis, it's
incredible.
It is incredible, because if you can do that, you can show anybody this business.
Which takes practice. I mean, in the end, you guys, you can't expect to talk in themes or be able to call an audible if you don't start practicing somewhere. I will guarantee you something. You can listen to as many audios as you want. You can read the whole career manual 1,500 times if you want. In the end, practice will equal progress. And the only way you're going to get better is by practicing more and learning how to navigate those situations. Just like the other day with this restaurant owner, I says, man, this is an awesome, wine bar / restaurant that you have here. It's beautiful. I love it. The second time I've been here, you probably noticed on social media that I posted about it and was bragging about you. He said, yeah, I did notice that. Thank you for that. I said, you're welcome. I said, is this all you own? See, that's how I transitioned it into asking him some more questions. He says, no, I actually own, 2 other businesses in town, and I also own 8 businesses in Puerto Rico. And then I was like, okay, but I didn't say it like that. Mentally I was like, whoo, this guy is entrepreneur.
You brought up a couple of great points, because we talked about making it a win-win. So before you even went to show him the business, you already posted because you like this restaurant. You like this restaurant. It's a wine bar.
I did.
We like this restaurant.
It was great.
Right?
Yeah.
It was great. So, but you created that on social media and asked him about it, making it a win-win. And then also, what else I liked you said is that, showing the plan and progress. You said it equals progress.
Practice.
Thank
equals
you.
Progress.
Practice equals progress, not practice equals perfection. I thought that was good.
Well, that's where a lot of people get stuck, right? A lot of people think I got to show a perfect plan, then the person's going to be interested. And really, an audible, when Trinity said call an audible, it's a football term, right? You come up to the line of scrimmage to call a play, and you got defense over here, and the offense comes up, and the offense says, we're calling this play. This is what we've set the context of. Here's the situation. This is what we think the defense is going to do right now. So we're going to call the play based on what we think is going to happen. We come up to the line before we hike the ball and give it to our quarterback, right? Oh, wait, the defense shifted. And so now we got to change the play. And so we got to be able to change the play without getting overwhelmed or thinking, again, if it's not perfect, if it's not like I can't show the plan from A to Z or whatever it is, because, again, they're buying who?
You.
Yeah. us all day long,
Yeah.
right? So if I come across as super confident with Leo, this business owner, he's going to like me. Showed another business plan last week down in Sarasota for Eric Giroux's team down there. We had two, one's getting ready to graduate from medical school, and the other one actually owns a traditional business there in Sarasota, you guys, and both of them were stoked, super interested, right? And it wasn't no formal presentation. We sat in the home. Eric Giroux did the first part of the presentation, which was the company and the products, and then all I did was the horizontal vertical slide, you guys, and I sat in a chair, you know, right there and just kind of talked with everybody, made it comfortable, cracked some jokes, you know, you just make it light, you make it fun. But I didn't show the whole presentation because we're in the home and I want to get through it, and I want to get to the meeting after the meeting and really talk to this soon-to-be doctor and talk to this business owner who's also a general contractor, but he also owns I don't know, I can't, cryogenic, this, you know, where they freeze you or something like this. And guy does supplements already. I'm like, how much is your multivitamin? He's like, $80 a month. And I said, really? And he said, how much is your isotonics multivitamin? I said, I don't know, about $62 for a 90-day supply. And he was like, what? So we gave him a sample of it, right? Yeah. He was stoked. But here's the thing. Customizing it for the person you're meeting with to give an appealing description of what's in it for him or her, to where they want to learn more, to where that restaurant owner started with 15 minutes. I was there for an hour and a half. He wouldn't let me leave, you guys. He kept saying, what about this? And what about that? And what about this product? And do you have this partner store? Do you have this? He was already thinking of people, all right? And that will lead us to what we're going to share in a moment, is how fast can I get him to lead me to people?
Well, sure. But the most important part of showing the plan, there's a couple things, is you want to book a follow-up phone call. And they always say, if you do not, and get this, you guys, if you do not set a follow-up phone call or appointment, you are simply wasting your time. It is so crucial. The most important part of showing the plan is booking the follow-up. So get that. And the only thing that the person has to walk away with is truly the 2 to 3 year plan versus the 45-year plan. That's the only thing that they got to walk away with. The rest does not even matter. I've sat down with people and I have shown the best plan and thought I just nailed it. They're going to crush it. I did such a great job. And then poof, they are just gone. And then there's days where we've all had those days where we are exhausted.
Yeah, have you ever had one of those days?
We do not want to go show the plan. Oh my gosh, yes, I've got to go. I made a commitment, so I got to go. And I screwed it up. I forgot this part. I even forgot to tell them about this part. And they come in the business. Doesn't matter. Just show it and show it often.
That's it.
2 to 3 versus 45. That's the key.
That's the hardest thing. And we have to draw a compare and contrast between the 2 to 3 versus the 45. Franchise versus unfranchised.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. People are going to gravitate to what they already understand. So when you're explaining to them just out of the flip chart, or if you're using, even if you're talking in themes, you don't even got something pulled up, you could mentally talk to somebody and say, we're just like a franchise, and share some bullet points with them.
Well, and I do. And I use these slides, and I asked Cullen to put this in the presentation here, because this is a key thing, because you're talking and you want to integrate them into the pay plan. You want to kind of navigate that. And somehow whatever they're doing in their career, you can kind of find out more about them. So on this slide, I will ask them, oh, I'm live, not the slide. Okay.
You are live.
Okay, I'm reading my notes because I thought the slide was up. But either way, they're okay. But one thing that I do on this slide is I always ask them, you know, when I get to the like a franchise, and I read this, you guys, and I read it so they can know that it's duplicatable. Everything we do is duplicatable, right?
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. But when I get to this slide, I ask them, now, have you ever checked into buying a business? Have you ever checked into any other type of business or anything like that, or owning your own business? Have you ever thought about that? And even though this person might be a nurse, or they might be a teacher or a server, they might say, you know, yeah, my family and I looked into buying a Krispy Kreme donut shop, or we did look into a Subway or anything like that. So, or something like that, right? So, you know, we talk about
healthy foods.
Healthy foods.
Like Krispy Kreme donuts.
So the average franchise costs around $187,000. You know, how much did the, you know, Subway, do you remember what that was going to cost? I mean, it's a conversation, right? McDonald's is over 1 million. So we talk about that on this slide. And then the next slide, where we get to unlike a franchise, you guys, this is where I call it verbiage a little bit, right? So I'm going to read, there's no franchise fees, minimum startup expenses. I don't just say minimum startup expenses, you guys. I bring up the money. I bring up the money. I don't say it's $129.95. I don't bring that up. I tell them, now, to capitalize your business, Colin, it's going to be around $450, maybe $1,000. Okay, I'm just laying it all out there for you on the table, okay? And I'd rather do that. So, but $450 to $1,000, and I'll go through exactly what that entails in just a minute. But you'd probably agree with me that that's a lot better than opening up a franchise to get paid the same way, right? And I shake my head like this. And do I shake? I always shake my head like that, right?
That's it.
So what else do we got? Potential tax advantages, no monthly overhead. You can go anywhere with this, and you start the business part-time. Part-time. So, usually, and I know that you're working, you're a teacher, or you're a real estate broker, or whatever they might be. But, what we do is we look for about 10 to 12 hours per week to put into your business. So now let me ask you a question, Cullen. If you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, and we're talking $3,600 a week, and you knew you're going to make that, you could find an extra 10 hours a week to put into a business, right? And you shake your head, you're like this.
It depends what I'd have to do.
Well, and at that point, I might customize it a little bit back to some products if I got that answer, But, of course, they're going to have questions. But if you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt it was legal, moral, and ethical, you could find 10 hours a week. Most people, if they record, your fishing shows or your American Idol or whatever it might be, you could find 10 hours a week to put into business, right?
Right.
Right. Of course, it's kind of a silly question. Who wouldn't? Okay. So, and if I got that answer, I might just say you'd be so surprised. Everybody wants more time. Everybody wants more money, but very few people are ready to take action on doing that. You'd be so surprised, right? But also, you start part-time, and there's little risk involved. So when we get to the slide, another way that I customize this is when we also get to that slide that talks about the GMTSS and the training system behind it. What else is involved with this 2 to 3 year plan is we have an amazing training system. Our training system is off the hook. That's how you can take a maintenance mechanic and a telemarketer and get them to a 6-figure income in their 20s. Because I'll tell you what, we have some local trainings here, Cullen, usually every 6 to 8 weeks, or we have some local trainings a couple hours away, but it is worth the drive. We all drive there, we pile in a car, we have a great time on the way, we have so much fun, but our training system teaches us exactly what to do. Our next local training here in the Tampa area is this next Saturday. I'd love if you could clear your schedule for next Saturday. We have Colton and Michaela Whited. I'm going to tell them about the next speaker, whoever it might be. But man, so that is going to be amazing on Saturday. And it's going to teach you everything you need to do to learn the business. But we also have 2 out-of-state trainings a year that we go to. We have one in Greensboro coming up the second weekend in August. Cullen, it's awesome. You're trained by the corporate team, trained by the president and CEO of the company himself, top money earners in the company, telling you exactly what to do step by step by step. And then we also have another big training that comes up in February. Oh, it's just horrible. My husband had to drag me from Chicago all the way to Miami in February. Oh, and I kind of make a joke about it. So, and so our training system is so powerful. And you'd agree with me, education is so important, right?
Right.
So, if you want to be a doctor, you got to go to med school. Lawyer, you got to go to law school, right? Why in the world would somebody start a business and not get the training? That doesn't make much sense. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
See how that works? Yeah. But my point is, you guys, I'm sharing some pertinent information with them. I'm bringing up the money. Because if you tell them it's $129.95, what are they going to think? It's $129.95, is it? Nope. If I don't mention the next training, that there's training involved and there's tickets involved And we're just going to, I let them know, we're not one of these companies just sign you up and go, go, go. Woo, you guys got this. Nope. We go out with you. We walk with you. We help train you. And that's what sets us apart. And I let them know 10 hours a week and about the GMTSS. It's all verbiage. It's all your excitement. And guys, we just have such a good time with this. And that's a key note. And one reason why we wanted, if you want to see how that we do it, we recorded ourselves a couple weeks ago, and they can watch us show the plan. So I love it.
Yeah. So the other side to it is, and I see some comments on here. I try to see sometimes I can read it, you guys, and sometimes I can't. It's scrolling too fast, but right now I can read it. And everybody's talking about leveraging the GoNowConnect.com, which Trin and I love. It's so streamlined, so simple. Point, click, do what you got to do. Go down the page and click on the video. You got to familiarize yourself with it a little bit to know what videos you want to use. But you just go down the page to share information. The key element here is if you don't have an internet connection, now you got to call an audible. Okay, so therefore you got to be prepared no matter what. And that's really the key. We have all the videos, right? That site's amazing. MarketAmerica.com is amazing. Unfranchisetraining.com is amazing. They're all amazing, but in the end, someone's going to buy one of two things. It's either going to buy you or they're selling you. It's one or the other. All the videos in the world are never going to be so dynamic that they just say, well, you just showed me an hour worth of videos and where do I sign? I mean, I guess it could happen if they are the right person and they're just in no matter what you shared with them. But in the end, they're really looking at you saying, do you really believe in you? Are you, working with a team of people that, is going places? And that's the power of leveraging the team in the system.
You bet. Be proud of what you have. You have an amazing gift.
That's it. And the other thing I'll share too is meeting with business owners. This last week, they were asking me, how are you different than, multi-level? Now you showed me, Cullen, on a slide here, and it's a slide within the plan, but this is also a printable version. This is what I call a one-pager. All right, I guess I should throw it up.
He's amazing at this. I love, this is a big key point.
This is the one pager that I'll print, and I always have in my binder with me because I never know if I'm not going to have internet connection or if something's going to be down. Plus, sometimes when you whip out a computer on somebody, it can be overwhelming for that person. Or I'm just not in a situation where there's even a table there, and I'm trying to do it on my lap, and it's really awkward. And so I can whip out a piece of paper and just show it to somebody. And in the end, I just showed some differences because they asked. I don't spend a ton of time on it unless they ask, you guys. But this guy was particular. Both business owners this past week were specifically asking me, what are the differences? And as I showed them the differences and lined it out, they were comparing it to a specific company that they had been introduced to in the area. That's only a couple years old. And in that company, you guys, that company pays 11 levels deep. And after that, you get paid 0. But most of it's building wide, like a traditional MLM. So I did a little research on it, about 5 minutes, and looked into kind of what they're doing, what's different. They've only got 8 products in the whole company. And their products are way too expensive on purpose. Why? Because they don't want anybody to come into the company to buy it and sell it and make a retail profit. They just want everybody to come into the wholesale buy-ins because it's so expensive on purpose. The company made it that way on purpose. So everybody has to join the company in order to get it cheap enough to even rationalize the amount of money they're investing in this product, right? And they're nutritionals, but there's only 8 products anyways. It's 11 levels deep, right? So, and they got an F rating, by the way. F, as in Frank, rating with the Better Business Bureau.
People are jumping on board in these companies on a weekly basis, and you have the best vehicle out there to save them. So be proud of what you have.
I'll post this when we're done tonight, all right? This little one pager. But in the end, here's the deal, you guys. Sitting down with somebody and being able to just say, here's some differences. By the way, if somebody's below 11 levels deep, I get paid 0. Well, we've got a lot of people on our team that are more than 11 levels deep, that are high pin levels, that are making an extra $3, $4, $10, $20,000 a month. And if we were in your company, I get paid 0. By the way, have you looked at, so I didn't just say, hey, your company's an F rating. I said, hey, have you looked at the Better Business Bureau? I'm the company. And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, yeah, you may want to check it out. And they're like, why? What's wrong? And I'm like, well, you got an F rating. And they're like, we do? And then, of course, I'm talking to them more about it and pulling the, because Trin and I got introduced to some people, but we weren't trying to steal people's people. But in the end, We would never do that, first of all,
No.
because big karma thing with us, okay? But
For
in the
sure.
end, here's the deal. We are fans of education.
Yes.
I'm all about educating people because if they ask me questions and they want to know, then I'm obviously going to share what the differences are.
Yeah.
And so you got to know what the differences are on a basic level, okay, of how JR flipped this thing, you know, right side up and made it vertical, and you're off to the races, okay? So that's the deal, horizontal versus vertical, and how JR, and that's another reason why we had the audio this week, which is JR Reitner explaining the binomial compensation, how he came up with it. That is what got me jazzed, right? When I was new and I was the numbers guy and looking at the business side of things and really trying to understand what makes us so different and understanding what the differences were, it got me fired up to know that this vehicle does pay more commissions based on less sales, which requires less people on the team than any other vehicle out there. I'll sit with anybody any day of the week. And I said that to both of these guys, and they were both looked at me like, really? And I'm like, oh yeah, any day of the week. I said, now, other companies might pay a whole bunch of money just to sign up people really fast. You can make money fast, but then it goes away fast because everybody's quitting. Is that what you're looking for?
So true. Know that there's a big difference in somebody making $10,000 in a month and $10,000 month after month after month after month of residual ongoing income that you can will to your grandkids one day. That is powerful.
That's it. So I may just cut to the chase, you guys, with some people, depending upon who I'm meeting with. I may speak about the brokerage concept and talking about our exclusive brands, but then we also have partnership and affiliate marketing happening. I'm giving like a broad brush stroke approach to just giving some talking in themes. And here's the deal, to where then you get the wall to come down, so they're open to receiving more information.
Yep.
And then when they start asking questions, then I'm showing them what they're asking me to ask, you know, because that's what they wanted to know. I could have sat there, you guys, and went through the entire flip chart or showed an entire video and got done, and the person would have got it and maybe said, all right, that's nice. All right, thanks. Yeah, okay, yeah, give me a call, you know, booked a follow-up call. Not there for the follow-up call, not interested, because I made it too much about what I wanted to present versus about what they needed to hear based on their past experiences and how can I serve them.
Awesome.
See?
That's fantastic. Yeah. And the last tip that I will give you guys is this. Once you show the numbers, right, when you're finished and you get to the slide that kind of does the little recap or whatever it might be, master J.R. Reidinger's close. This was my favorite thing to do. This helps grow our business a lot. Just master his close. The one that he's on the stage and he's talking much faster than I can talk. You know, don't worry about understanding all this right now, right? That's the one I'm talking about when you get to that part. And you can customize it for yourself. You don't have to do JR's close perfectly. You don't have to do Trinity's close or Cullen's close perfectly. But what I did is I took his verbiage and I took an index card and just bullet pointed things and put it on an index card until I could say it over and over. So what fit myself, what fit comfortably for me. So I don't say run it up the pole and see who salutes it. That's just not me. But I do say, now Cullen, I told you, like we went through a lot of information, right? I told you that we would. But don't worry about understanding all this right now. It's not a $20,000 decision. It's not $2,000. It's not even $200, right? We don't want your money. We want to make sure you want to blow this out with us.
So she's drawing a contrast between franchising and unfranchising, just so you guys are aware of that. When you say those things, you're planting seeds of comparison between franchising and owning a traditional business and now the unfranchised as you're closing it, to where then the wall's even, you know, staying down, right?
Right, exactly. The most important part of all of this, Cullen, that you even have to get today is that you chose the 2 to 3 year plan instead of working the next, 40 years over at your business. That you're not really, that we've talked about earlier. He might not be excited about it. So you chose the 2 to 3 year
Or if they're excited about it, they could be excited. The guy I met with the other day loves his business. So I have to be careful not to say, well, your businesses fail in the first 5 years and all this negative stuff.
Yeah.
Either way, though, all I'm saying, though, is either way, some people don't like what they're doing and they're trying to get out of it because they want to, time freedom. Other people are like, I would never leave my business. I love what I do. So again, context is super important in how you set that table there, right?
It is. And I am going to customize that statement based on what they have shared with me personally already, right? Maybe, and so you chose the 2 to 3 year plan instead of the 45-year plan so you can go home and coach those boys.
Right.
Or coach the kids.
Yes.
Do you see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
that's way you want to customize it with that. So you're sitting here thinking, Cullen, hey, is this business right for me? To be honest, we want to make sure it's right for you too, that you're right for the business. The best way we can both get that answer is you just put us to work for you. You make us sweat a little bit here. Because I tell people all the time, if somebody cannot sell $200 worth of product in 3 months, Cullen, it's probably not going to work out well for them, right?
Right.
If somebody can't find a couple key people, no big deal. We're still going to love you. I'm still going to high five you in the grocery store. I'm still going to give you a big hug at church, or whatever it might be. That's all cool. But if you take this and you put your team of people, myself, my husband, and I might edify some leaders, you take this and put the team of people to work for you, you make us sweat a little bit, throw this in front of 10, 12, 15 people that you respect in the next couple of weeks, setting the intention. I'll tell you what, we get your customer base done, like 10 customers, that's like breathing. Who doesn't want cash back, right? And we identify a business partner or two, you're crazy not to do it. We're crazy not to take you on the team, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'll tell you what, like we talked about, lots of information. So what I'm going to do is everything I went through with you here, Cullen, is all on like a 22-minute video. I'm going to send you that video. I can email it to him. I can text it to him. So if I send you this video, do you think you could watch it in the next couple of days?
Sure.
Okay, I'd love to give you a call, write down your questions. You can stop, rewind the video, watch it, this part in more detail, whatever you want to do. Write down your questions. I'll give you a call within about 48 hours. I usually like to do it within 48 hours while it's still fresh in your head. And I'll give you a call just to answer those questions. I really would love for you to talk to my business partner, Eric. Or I really love for you to talk to my business partner, Melanie, or whoever it might be. Okay? Or you've got to meet Jackie Blasco or Jackie Birchman, or whoever I'm thinking, somebody like-minded. I'd love to introduce you to her. She's going to be great. But you got to do that follow-up phone call within 24 to 36 hours at the latest, and you got to book some kind of follow-up. Now, let's say that it's Sunday night, so I'm going to ask them Sunday night, Cullen, so I can get with you and we could give you a call tomorrow evening, or we could call you like Tuesday in the day. Which one's better for you?
And again, when you do that, so what'll happen is some people will say, boom, they're going to book it. Most will book it. Let's say that. Yep. 80% will book it. And you're going to set up a time, but it's a handshake. Like that the last slide we just showed you guys, it's a handshake. Ooh. This is a commitment. This isn't just you can't just say, well, I'm just going to try to, throw somebody, I'm just going to try to catch you or whatever. It's like, no, you're booking a firm appointment. And when you book a firm appointment, you're shaking their hand. You expect them to be there. They expect you to call and keep your word, okay? The other side of that is you could be dealing with somebody like I was, where some of the business owners were like, yeah, I can't, there's no way I can do a call. I got too much going on. So I was booking the next step to saying, okay, great. How about, so this is Friday night, by the way. You're growing if you're out showing the plan on Friday night, by the way, just so you guys know. All right, so like if you're Friday night and it's like, 8 o'clock at night, you're showing the plan, and then you're like scratching your head, and you're like, wow, on fire, growing.
It was at a wine bar, so we were okay with that.
Yeah, but still, you're like, yeah, but you're growing. But so it's Friday night, right? And the weekend's crazy, right? So I said, how about Tuesday night, we get back together right here? Would that work to get back at this location?
Brilliant.
And you're already thinking of some people that may be a great fit, but at the very least, they want to save money and they'll be customers, right? And I'm nodding my head like Trinity's teaching, right? But in the end, he's like, yeah, as a matter of fact, Tuesday nights were closed. And I said, oh, even better. I said, so if you're closed, we'll just pack a bunch of people in here. I said, is it okay if, and I named out ABC, everybody who's in this line of people that have been leading us to people quickly. Everybody can invite some people. You might get 20, 30 people here. Is that cool? And he's like, yeah, that's awesome. And I'm like, and then everybody gets to see your wine bar, even though you're not technically open, but then they'll come back.
Win-win.
Win-win. See, win-win. And he was like, yeah, perfect. So I wasn't able to make the actual follow-up call happen with him, But he does. I gave him a homework assignment. He's got the home shopping list. He's got a health survey. I'm getting information from him. Tuesday night, we're booked. He's a business owner. I'm going to confirm tomorrow to make sure we're set for Tuesday night. And we're going to go ABC pattern in order to make it happen. And meanwhile, I'm communicating with the people who are leading the people that we're working for them. And then they're all excited because some of them were out of town and they're like, oh my gosh, we're on fire.
But you did book a follow-up appointment.
So
it doesn't have to be a call. Again, could be a call, could be appointment. And so even if it might be today, which is Sunday, and there's a UBP on Tuesday night, you can call and, still get somebody on the phone with them and confirm that they're going to come to the UBP. Whatever the next function is, if you can do a live event, it is better than a phone call. Get them to the next event. But if the next event is not until Thursday and you showed the plan on Sunday, you want something to keep them excited. Remember, we talked about that thermometer. You want to keep them up on the thermometer. Which week was it? Do you know off the top of your head? But go back and watch that. But you got to keep them up on the thermometer just so they can remember what they're excited about. Because if it's Sunday and you don't talk to them till Thursday, right, and they're supposed to come to the HBP or the UBP or whatever it might be, again, you want to keep them excited. They might forget what they're excited about, okay? So the biggest thing, you guys, is book a follow-up phone call or the next live appointment, some kind of appointment, period, or you're going to create it like Cullen just did. And you get a high five for that, for sure.
And there's no doubt, as we're coaching you guys, and all of you that are team captains and all of you that are listening, listen loud and clear on this, okay? As we're checking weekly checklists and we're seeing what people are doing awesome, and then we're questioning some things to make things better for people, by far, the number one step that's getting missed is a follow-up three-way phone call or appointment, something set to where you're going to grow the business.
Yes, and we're going to talk about that next week. I got one more thing to add as well, though, is when you're leaving that person, okay, and you're leaving the appointment and you're kind of closing it out, you want to make sure that they have another flyer to the next seminar, whatever the next big local seminar or district or regional or whatever it might be. You want to make sure that you share that story. And now, Cullen, I'll tell you what, man, I know that, it's Sunday, but I'll tell you what, this next weekend, if there's any way you can clear your schedule, we have Colton and Michaela Whited. They were servers at Outback Steakhouse.
Which is exactly what I said to this restaurant owner. You should have seen his eyes. He was like, like all bugged out. I was like, they're Outback servers, and now they're coming to train everybody in the Clearwater area how they went from 0 to 7,500 in a 4-week pay cycle in the last 2 years.
2 years.
I said, is that crazy or what? And the owner was just like, that's pretty unbelievable.
But he sold their story. So it doesn't matter if it's Colton and Michaela. It doesn't matter if it's Jackie Blasco. It doesn't matter if it's Jackie Birchman's product training. It doesn't matter if it's, whoever it might be. The next speaker is off the chart amazing, right? And so Cullen, I'm going to go ahead. Is there any way you can clear your schedule? Keep this in your back pocket. Keep this in your mind. Do you think there's any way you could clear your schedule for Saturday and shake your head like this?
Yeah, I already bought the ticket. I bought it. I'm in.
Well, I know you are, but you're still my prospect.
Okay, so let me play hard to get, because everybody's saying what happens when they're hard to get.
But let me finish with
sorry.
that.
Sorry.
So I'm going to tell you, now Cullen, I would tell you, because, okay, give me an objection. I'll tell you how we do it. Go ahead.
I don't know, because my son has a soccer game at 8 in the morning.
Okay.
But I think it's going to last all day.
You think it will last all day?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I'm going to be busy all day.
So it's at 8 in the morning. Is it a tournament? You're playing with the wrong mom, let me tell you.
It could be. It could be a tournament.
It could be a tournament?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Why don't you find out? Because if it's at 8 in the morning, it might get done, because my kids played sports as well. If it gets done, it could be done at 10. If you could even get there for half the day, you would get so much information. And here's the thing, Cullen, you'd get so much information about the unfranchised if you really do want to coach your kids. Instead of watching that, you could totally coach the kids. Would you be excited about that?
I would be excited, but I think I'm in charge of bringing the oranges. So it's going to be a very busy morning.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, if that might not work for you, that's okay. But keep this in your back pocket. We'll still give you a call on Tuesday evening just to verify and answer your questions like we talked about. Okay. But I just keep it in your back pocket because I'd much rather have you spend $30 and a Saturday with us, Colin, than invest more time, more energy, more money, and decide this is not right for you and that you're not right for the business. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'd much rather have you spend $30 in a Saturday than more time and energy and money. Okay?
Yes.
And that
Yes.
way we'll see if there's a match.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. I will talk to you Tuesday night at 7 o'clock.
All right.
It was so great to meet you.
You too. You too.
All right. Hope you guys like that. That's just what you guys, we're professional problem solvers. So that was really fun. Whatever it might be, but you'll know, guys, people will show you their true colors. Colin, as my prospect, he's either going to lead me to some people or he's not. He's either going to try some products or he's not. He's either going to clear his schedule or he is not. And if he's not, that's okay. He might know somebody else we need to talk to.
Yeah, and so jumping back, I seen on here, Joe Erickson, you were asking, what do you do when, what do you say when people are hard to get a hold of? So there's two kinds of people, right? There's those that are hard to get a hold of because they're genuinely super busy. And then there's other people who are super hard to get a hold of because they genuinely are not making you the priority. Mm-hmm. So you have to recognize who the person is. Ironically enough, the people that we've been talking with, all the way down from Sarasota, business owners. I mean, look, the guy's running like 3 different businesses, and yet he showed up to the home business presentation that Stan was having, for Eric Giroux team. Sure. He made it happen, you guys. And then same thing for the doctor getting ready to graduate from medical school. She was there. And then the business owners here with the wine bar, and then the surgeon, and then the salon owner. And guess what? I'm going to tell you something right now. They're all there. They are spinning so many plates, but guess what? They spin them and they make it happen. Why? Because they're on a mission and they're focused. And so busy people find a way to get things done. I think sometimes when people aren't so busy, they feel like they are so busy.
Sure.
And so you have to recognize who you're talking to. And if they're acting like they're so busy all the time, are they really a great fit for the business? Maybe
they don't
they're
have time
a great
for
fit as a customer.
Right, maybe timing is everything, for sure. Timing is everything. And we're actually going to talk about following up and in 3 strikes you're out, and how to do a follow-up phone call, how to do 3-way phone calls, and how to do the follow-up process and booking a follow-up, and just talking lots about follow-ups next week, you guys. So again, that's another favorite part that we have of this business.
That's where the big money's at. And it shocks me how many people will literally say to Trinity and I, when we talk with them or we meet them or we're at an event, and they say, I'm just really terrible at follow-up. And I'm just like, okay, I believe you, because you're probably proving yourself right all the time. And if you're terrible at follow-up, it is going to affect any kind of momentum that you're trying to build into the business. You maybe have led to a diamond already in the past, but just didn't follow up and handle it correctly. And so you got to see yourself, man, why would I do the heavy lifting? Why would I carry the wood, throw it on the pile, light the wood? It's starting to burn, okay, but I don't add more wood to the fire. Why wouldn't you add more wood to the fire? I don't understand, but that's the follow-up. That's where the big money's at. We got to add wood to the fire.
The fortune is in the follow-up. And I'll tell you what, you guys, I've had some great conversations with amazing leaders this week. And it's a great thing. If you are unaware that you're not doing follow-ups, now you can be aware of it. It will change your business. So next week is going to be really important, and we're going to have a ton of fun. And I think that's your last point.
That's it.
We want you guys to go out and have a ton of fun this week. And
it's all about making it fun, you guys.
Have
blessing others, leading with your heart, making a new friend. Every single day, can I make a new friend today? Who can I bless today? Leading with your heart. Mm-hmm. Your heart's never wrong, you guys. So in the end, we're going to lead with our heart, and we're going to love people. And if you love people, you lead with your heart, and you say, hey, how you doing today? And you get in conversations with people, you'll automatically lead to the right people. It's just, it'll happen. That's just what's happened for us.
Yep. Again, you guys, you have a gift. Go out and share it and have a ton of fun. We love you guys.
Thank you for your time.
We wish you a wonderful week. We bless you this week. So have a great night. Bye.
See you guys. Love ya.
Love ya.